Over the last couple of years, the automotive industry has witnessed unprecedented challenges and transformational changes. One company that has been leading the way serving vehicle manufacturers within the passenger car, trucks, and off-highway segments through their cutting-edge solutions and innovation is KPIT Technologies. KPIT has been working with individual clients to solve their critical business problems, as well as leading the software-defined journeys for car and truck makers globally. So let's meet Sachin Tikekar, Managing Director of KPIT Technologies, and Chinmay Pandit, President, Americas. Hi, Sachin and Chinmay. Welcome to this special AI episode of Tech Impact. It's a pleasure to have you join us today and to share your insights and learnings.
Thank you for having us, Evan.
Pleasure to be here.
KPIT saw the wave of software-defined vehicles coming well in advance, and you've been working on several first-generation SDV programs, helping vehicle manufacturers turn their SDV aspiration into reality. Where do you see SDV plans going in the future, and what would be the most crucial success factor moving forward?
Firstly, let me start with the purpose of the whole software-defined vehicles. It was to reduce the cost of the software and its maintenance, and of course to release the features that made most sense to the consumers. So I think there are three critical learnings from the first generation. Number one, don't look at software in isolation. Look at the entire vehicle, its design and engineering, and the segment it's going to serve. Second part is take some calls in terms of separation of hardware and software where it makes sense. This provides greater control to the vehicle makers, and it also reduces the cost of the vehicle. And last but not the least, our biggest learning is start testing and validating at every stage of the software development program. If you look at SDV from a consumer's perspective, I think the biggest impact that's going to have on the consumers is what we call navigation on autopilot, NOA. In China, if you have to sell a car, NOA has almost become mandatory. And we are seeing navigation on autopilot becoming more and more prominent in Europe as well as here in the US.
Overall, through your decades of partnerships, primarily within passenger car segments, and now also on truck and off-highway segment, from your perspective, how do you see the global trends reshaping the automotive landscape in the coming years? What do you see as the biggest challenges for vehicle manufacturers?
I wish there was just one big challenge. Let me name three. One is the competition from China. Second is the geopolitical dynamics that continue to play out. And last but not the least, both these things are leading to tremendous disruption in the supply chain. So managing the logistics depending on the tariffs is becoming a daily nightmare.
You mentioned China and the competition slicing into the market pie earlier. Why is there so much discussion around China? What has changed exactly? Can you break it down for us?
Net, the impact is for the Chinese OEMs. They have to figure out how they're going to remain profitable and relevant because there are so many of them. As far as the global OEMs are concerned, certainly their pie has shrunk by 30%. And in order to compete effectively with the Chinese OEMs, they have to not only come up with innovation, but they also have to drop the cost of their vehicles by more than 30%.
If we dive deeper specifically into the challenges faced by American car makers, dynamic tariffs and increasing competition, especially from China, how do you see the situation in the industry evolving, and what would be your top three learnings to share with vehicle manufacturers?
So it's very interesting, right? People talk about the competition from China. You don't see Chinese cars out here. But the impact is very, very visible. It's a secondary impact. As the competition in China is coming up, more and more car makers are looking at US as like the last open, free, large market left. So that means the competition here is picking up. So I think that's one big impact which is playing out. Second thing, Sachin talked about it, is around tariffs. The uncertainty which is driving a lot of concern. People are getting stuck on taking major decisions because of how it's going to come through, and it might be a matter of a short while, but that's definitely playing out in a big way. And the other very interesting and a more fundamental shift which is coming out is that if you look at the recent past, the regulation were driving product innovation, and I think that's not how the future will play out. So truly working on market fundamentals, demand supply, is what's going to drive innovation as against what was a slightly different situation in the near term. Now, that's what's happening outside. So if you look at what the car companies are doing from inside, is actually the whole software-defined journey, and it's a very important and a key part of it, but it's more like the skeletal aspect of what the consumers want. It's now the time to put the final layer on top of it and wrap it up together in the way the consumers appreciate it. With the increased competition, all of us have to think about what each individual player will do and what partners or collaboration will bring into play. So focusing on what's core and getting together the right partner configuration to make sense and to have a better fighting chance in the market is going to be very important. And we are doing the same thing at our end. Historically, we were more oriented towards services. We are shifting towards solution because that's what the world will need more so going forward. So I think that's how it's going to play out. To us, the major lessons are focus on the consumers and invest in your core and partner for the rest. That's the important play.
This is interesting. Tell me more about this move from service to solutions. What does it mean?
Let me just say, we talked about how the vehicles need to be cheaper and their time to market needs to get reduced in order to be competitive. That means building things ground up. This is what you do through services, 100%, is not the cheapest and the fastest way to get your vehicles out. Over the years, what has happened is many companies such as KPIT, we build a lot of solutions. That means there are reusable components and assets. We call them platform tools and accelerators that are readily available. And wherever it's a commodity from an OEM perspective, they can actually make use of the solution, and then they can add services to customize them. So the composition, instead of doing 100% ground up, if you can have reusability to the tune of 60, 70, 80%, that reduces the cost as well as the time to market. So this extensive use of platform tools and accelerators is what we call solutions.
Let's talk a bit more about AI. Can you share your thoughts on AI within the automotive industry and its business implications?
Most of the vehicle makers have actually created centers of excellence to look at artificial intelligence and its impact on their business. You can see the impact being made significantly when it comes to corporate functions in the vehicle makers. Where we have to be careful is when you put AI in the engineering of the vehicles. Making things work in a lab environment is one thing, and making things work in a safe way when you put your software in the vehicle that's going to be out there on the road is a whole new ball game.
What about the potential impact on workforce skills and roles? How is your organization handling that?
It's another one major change which is playing out in companies like us and overall in the industry. There are a few things we are focused on. One is retraining, ensuring that our entire workforce has exposure to the latest agentic AI options out there and letting them play with it so that they get a good handle as to how it can be used effectively is very important, and we are encouraging all our colleagues to spend more and more time on that. That's just to build an understanding and appreciation. When it comes to putting something into production, like Sachin also referred to, this has to be done cautiously. So there's a human in the loop, which is important, appreciation of what can be pushed on the machine side versus what needs to be kept on the human side. That decision making, that clarification is very important. And it will evolve. I think it's a very, very nascent space. It's evolving very fast. So there have been examples where we started with a set of agents to begin with, and in a month's time when we kind of started stabilizing the work, we had a whole different set of agents which were better, right? So the rate of change here is going to be very interesting, but we're getting ready for it for a long haul.
That was so helpful, gentlemen. Anything else you want us to know?
We painted a picture of an industry which is in deep trouble. At the same time, we think that any challenge is an opportunity. Our clients need our help to make their vehicles cheaper, better, faster. So we are making sure that we keep wearing our hats of innovation and create tremendous value for the clients.
It is on us to use AI to make a better world, to make a safer world. And I think that's going to be the area where we'll focus on and really make an impact as we go ahead.
Thanks so much for joining us on this special AI episode of Tech Impact.
It's been our pleasure being on your show, Evan.
Thank you, Evan.
And if you'd like to learn more, check out their great website, kpit.com. That's kpit.com. Or log into techimpact.tv.